A very good evening. I welcome everyone. This is Family Talk Show with me, Brenda. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is doing well. And today is a Friday, September 23rd, 2022. And it is a pleasure to have you. And today we're talking about spicing your marriage in the midst of busy schedule. Yes, how do you spice up your marriage? And today we have exciting guests. That is Mr. Benon Lwanga, who is an engineer. And then Mrs. Lwanga, who is an HR Ministry of Works. You see, amidst busy schedules, how have they managed to spice up their marriage? What have they done, the practical things that they have done to spice up their marriage and make it fun? So just keep it locked at Church of Uganda Family TV, and you're going to thank me later on everything that we're going to be talking about. You're welcome, and I send my greetings to everyone who is watching, and I want to send my greetings to Sam, who is in UAE, your number one fan. So we love you so much on Family Talk Show. Very welcome, the Lwangas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very happy to have you. This is the second time you're coming on the show? Third. Wow. We have to clap you. You deserve a hand clap. So how have you been? How many years have you spent in marriage?
12.
12 years.
Only.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let me tell you, things are very easy. Spending 12 years in marriage. Some people are complaining here and there. So what have you done to spice your marriage? To do like the fun bit of it all, the practical thing that you've done. That is what people are here to listen, or what people are watching us. Like those ones that having questions, you can send your message on our social media platform, that is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can send your messages there, or you can send your comments there, and we shall be reading them. Very welcome on Family Talk Show.
Thank you, Brenda. But I think we need to go to the basics first.
Yeah, introduction. What do they mean by when we talk about spicing your marriage?
Before we spice anything, what are the basics of marriage? Yeah, it's important to have that background first before we do any spicing. And of course, marriage is anchored in Genesis 2:18, where it says, "Then the Lord said that it's not good for man to be alone, and I will make him a helper." I underline that word, helper.
Helper.
Yeah, it's important. Then number 2 in Genesis 2:24, we also see that God said that that's why man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and the two become one flesh. I think that's important before we go into any spicy. But back to the spicy. What is the spice, for instance? Incidentally, most of the spices come from plants.
Me, I thought spices, because when we are cooking, we use spices.
Yeah. So anything to enhance flavor or to tenderize is a spice. But why do we do that anyway? Because the food we buy is good enough to eat in its form, the way God created it. And as such, even the marriage we have is still good enough even without spicing. But what does spicing help us? Number 1, when we spice, we make the food more tasty. The aroma is better, is more enhanced. You can smell it even at a distance. And so even in marriage may be plain without spicing, and may be characterized with things like grumbling, emptiness, and an unsatisfactory feeling when both of you feel empty without a spice. Number 2, the reason that's why food is spiced is to make it soft. For instance, meat, beef. For that case, beef is one which usually requires extra spicy to tenderize it, so that you can have it soft. And so likewise in marriage, misunderstandings are bound to happen, arguments, disagreements, feelings of unmet expectations, which usually seasonally draw us apart and make the marriage feel hard. And so when we spice it, we are able to have a soft landing. Number 3, why we spice, this is in cookery majorly, is to break monotony. There are some countries which have only one type of food, more or less.
More or less?
Yes, more or less. In Europe, or and the Arab world, they usually eat wheat. The wheat will come in all forms. They usually call it pasta. And so if you are eating wheat on a daily, it can become monotonous. But when you spice it in different formats, you're able to enjoy it, even when it is still the same. And so likewise, even in marriage, the spicing helps break routine. There is a feeling, married people usually feel that they have lost the spark, monotony. There's no fire. You know, marriage is meant to have a certain fire, a burning fire for each other.
Married?
Yeah. If you are in a healthy relationship with your spouse. And so, the spicing helps you break the monotony. Lastly, you might feel that what you are about to eat, you don't really like it. Sometimes it's even medicine. And so when you spice a little, it helps you take that food even when you don't feel like it. You see, God created marriage for life. So there will be moments in marriage where you may not want to talk to your spouse, but there are no options here. So even when you don't feel like, when you spice up that marriage, you're able to have a soft landing and talk to each other and rejuvenate your marriage. Yeah.
Wow. Mr. Rango, you talked about spices for marriage. I know some spices like salt, like rosemary, like cloves. What are we talking about? What are these spices specifically for marriage? Someone who is watching us out there, they may be doing them or they may be adding them to their marriage when they don't know. So what are the spices here that we are talking about?
Okay. Thank you, Brenda, and thank you, Mr. Ranga, for that introduction. He brought it in an aspect of cooking. We are used to spicing being with food, yes, and he has mentioned, you've talked about salt, we have Royco, we have, those are some of the basic things we use here in Uganda. And he has explained why do we spice our food. Remember, recall when we were still in school, the beans that we used to take while in school were really flat. They had a flat taste. But now you can prepare your beans and really enjoy them because you've spiced them a bit. Yes, and so is marriage. We'll talk about 4 pillars in 4 spices, let's say, in this marriage. One, we'll look at our faith, the faith. Then we'll look at our relationships. How do we run our relationship, our marriage? We'll look at the physical and mental health. We'll look at the income, financial freedom. We'll look at the fun. Those are all spices which we are going to spread out. Yes.
Okay. I think let's begin with faith, one by one. Faith, relationship, and then we can go to. I'm excited about the fun bit of it.
The fun bit.
I like. Amidst this busy schedule, because Mr. Ranga is an engineer and then you're a human resource, I know the work schedule that human resources have. How have you done it, like the Rangas? We want to hear the story. Let's begin with faith.
Okay. One, we all know a family. There is that saying, a family that prays together stays together. That is the number one binding thing in our marriage as the Rangas. We pray together. One as us, husband and wife. We usually do that very early in the morning before we start off anything.
It's a must.
Yes, it's a must. Whether any of us is home, whether he's up country or out of the country, or not at home, we'll call each other very first thing in the morning before we start off anything, before dashing to the kitchen to first pray. Do our Bible reading, do our praying, and do our sharing. That one is a must with us. And then later on as a family, we pray together every evening. We do our Bible reading, we do worship, praise and worship, and then we take turns, including the children. We didn't mention we have 3 children, aged 10, 8, and 4.
We send our greetings.
Thank you.
Hope they are watching.
They must be. We take turns as we do our prayers. We take turns. The children will lead, let's say one will lead, the 10-year-old will lead today, the 8-year-old will lead tomorrow, and then the 4-year, that one usually just brings a song or something, and then daddy will lead the other day, mommy the other day. We do it in turns, and each explains. You read the Bible, explain, preach to us, and ask us what we've all learned. Why do we do this? So as to bond and to keep growing and to grow in faith. And then the other thing is we purpose to go to church as a family every Sunday. And then the little ones go for children's church. We take them in turns. We go to St. Francis Chapel, Mahooro. We have a children's church as well. So each Sunday that passes, we take turns on who takes the children to church. If it's like, for instance, last Sunday I took them, so next Sunday will be his.
What if he's not available?
What if he's not available? Believe me, then I'll take them. Then the following Sunday when he comes back, he will take them to church. Yes. The taking to church means we all go to church, but then there is the children's church. We attend the children's church as well in turns. It's a way of bonding and spicing up our marriage. Yeah.
And then relationships. I think Mr. Rang will talk about the relationships.
Yeah, when it comes to relationships, when you're married for life. The most important thing is not to get tired of each other. And so breaking monotony is going to be important. So we go out for family dates and then our couple time as we. Because the marriage is for us, not for the children. So we give the children their time, but also set aside our own time. Then we do regularly check on each other, even when we are not together. We purpose by the hour to check on what is happening on each other. Because God has joined you to be one. And this is very important. And so when your spouse is going through a hard time, it's important that you also share the burden or try to be of help or seem to be coming in with some help. Then the other thing is we spend on each other and on our immediate family. Love without giving is not really love. Love and giving go hand in hand. John 3:16, you know it. For God so loved the world that he gave. So love and giving go hand in hand. The problem these days in marriage is that most people tend to be on the receiving side. It's about what have I got, not what have I given. Yet it's supposed to be the other way around. And then we purpose to make our special days memorable to each other. And then have plenty of couple time. Even if we return home and we are just not talking, even if there's nothing to talk about, but just a physical presence within the midst of each other is important. But of course, when you're together, you get to talk. You share. That bond is kept strong when you're together. So that's what we do regarding relationships.
So I want to understand the giving part. Like you gave us that example that for God so loved the world that He gave us His only begotten Son. What do you give? Like, do you give tangible things? I can give you my faith and my word. Is that enough, even for the to the woman side?
It is, but it's not sufficient. You know, there's a saying that. However little is given, it is more than too much pity. You get it? You sympathize so much with somebody, and you say you love them, but without giving. It doesn't really work out like that. So we give tangible things. You can, to make them happy. Anything to make her happy is at the center of my heart.
Wow. Injecting fun into marriage. How have they done it? How have they accomplished it up to now in 12 years? This is the 12th year.
Oh, yeah.
We're moving to the
13th.
Yeah, we are moving to the 12th. Yeah.
You're moving into the 12th year.
Yes.
So how have you done it? Like injecting fun amidst busy schedule. You have to go out. Maybe you have to go to that restaurant, and Joan is saying, I cannot make it today, because I know that there are some couples, like they have their man, they can talk about like, let's go out on a Monday, and then Monday comes where you have to be busy, and then you have to postpone. By the time you know it, you're in the 6th month. So how have you done it? I know that there are times that happen. It happens.
That has never happened. What happens often. Yes. We're still talking about, thank you, spicing up with fun. Yeah, you've given an example of what exactly has ever happened to us. You know, you keep postponing, but now we purposed and say, okay, at least, even if we fail, let's do like once a week, go out. We talked about the family with the children, then also as ourselves, him and I, just purpose and say, even if it's 30 minutes, let's go out. Just go and have a change. Go out, sit out, talk whatever you're talking, discuss, and then go back home. Because you need that time together to keep growing. Remember we talked about a spice.
Don't conversations sometimes change when you're 2 and then you start talking about the school fees?
No. Once you have gone out, you have purpose to just go out and relax. Just go out and relax. Take holidays. We're talking about the busy schedule. You're working year in, year out. Sometimes you even fail to get leave. But where you can, and you've got good purpose, and let's say, and also plan with the children. You know what? This Easter holiday, we are going to go out. Thursday they're at school. Friday you're moving out of town. Going somewhere just for a change. Return on Monday. Tuesday you're back to work and back to school. Yes, but at least your purpose, and you know you have that change from the usual busy schedule.
How does it help?
How does it help? One, it's a relaxing thing, and also a change of environment. He talked about food. He gave an example of spaghetti that is consumed mainly in Europe. I mean, you have the same macaroni. The other day you have the same thing. Now, when you spice it up, today it's boiled. The other day you put
vegetables.
You put vegetables. The other day you put something else to make it different. So even when you move away from home to a new and different environment, one, we usually move out of town. It's a bit relaxing, away from jam, away from the noise, the cars, this and this, and away from the routine, our usual routine of home. Wake up, go to the kitchen, prepare yourselves, drive in jam, go to work. But this time on, when you're sleeping out, you just know, I just wake up, we do our usual prayer. Yes, that's okay. It's just a different bed and different environment. You don't know things around. Just know you're in a different environment. The breakfast is there. You can even order for room service. Move around. That kind of it's a change. And everyone likes change anyway. If I wear this dress today, the following day I want to wear something else, and I feel good. Yes. Maybe he can add on.
Yeah, with the fun, there are times when God has created us different. She's a lady, I am a man. And the likes may also be different. And so what she likes may not necessarily what I like. There will be a little bit of a difference somewhere. And so even in the midst of differences, it's okay to enjoy and be and make it fun. You may not take part in your spouse's fun kind of activity. Maybe their fun is watching a movie or watching football, but you're duty bound to encourage them or to enjoy the same with them, because you see the children are also equally more amazing.
Yeah.
Because they come with different likes, different talents, and it's important to grow that talent within them, even when you don't like it at all. You've seen where some parents have children, and the children are in for music, and the parent is
totally against it.
No for me. They're into soccer, and the parent is no, you're wasting a lot of time. Read books. So it's important to, even if you don't like it, you encourage your spouse, your family member into what they enjoy as part of the fun.
Yeah, and then I've come to know it that also for the spicing bit of it, it has to have finances. How have you handled your finances? And if it's not handled with that care, I think it can totally make things bad for the marriage. Sometimes it even doesn't work out well, the financial bit of it all.
Now this is a tricky one, a very sensitive one when it comes to marriages. And I know many people don't believe in it. But for us, we purpose to discuss ideas of investing as a couple before we invest.
So you get a meeting and then talk about it? Yeah,
you come up with this idea. And sometimes one of you is very crazy about it. They feel it will work. Then you realize when you share it with your spouse, you realize that sometimes maybe there are some aspects you could have underlooked, or some very, very ambitious plans that you had that need to be toned down. So that's why it's important to discuss and also consult widely as much as you can on the subject matter of investment. The other thing is that we plan together. We purpose to plan together as a family. What are we going to do this year, or what do we want to do in 5 years of time, or something like that.
And then the accounts, does your spouse has to know your accounts?
Yeah, definitely. Finances are bound. If you want to have a safe landing in marriage, it's important to share finances. Like I told you, most people don't believe in these things, but for us it has worked for us.
Like my friend Mohammed would be like, no.
So
have your different account and I have my different account.
We also do, but
we go.
Each of us knows what is happening in the other's accounts. That's important, because these are joint resources. And then be in the know of those investments, whichever investments that are happening in your life, is important to know. Because when you are married, you become each other's next of kin. Yeah, so that's what we do when it comes to finances.
John, how is it different to have like the same account?
No, he has said.
What is your experience?
He has said we have different accounts because we are salary earners. So he has his account, I have my account.
Yeah.
And then, but for anything we are doing for the family, we'll pull resources together. We'll pull resources together. He'll bring from his account, I'll bring from my account, and we go into that investment together, whatever it is. And then more about finances. Remember, we are one.
Yeah.
We are running this marriage as one. So whatever we do, be it school fees, be it looking after the home, be it shopping, clothes, anything, we pick money from anywhere. It's not that it's my daddy bring the money, mommy will cater for this. No. Whichever account has money, that's where we pick from.
Are there like advantages compared, because I know that there are couples that have really different accounts and they have different resources, and even how they handle things, like they handle them differently. They have that with money, please, we cannot join. Are there advantages, like you're seeing, like this with joining resources and pulling resources together, this is what we have achieved, and if we haven't maybe pulled resources together, we wouldn't have received this much?
Okay. Yes. When we're starting, remember I've told you been married for 11 years, moving into 12 years.
Yeah.
How we started is not how we are right now. Yes, when we're starting this marriage, everyone was, you have your money, I have my money. You're earning this, I'm earning this. But later on, as life went on, and as, like we said, marriage, this is a journey where we keep learning. Learning and unlearning. You unlearn some habits, you learn new habits. So we learned that, the more we work together, the more we're able to achieve.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why I would answer that. It's really advantageous. Knowing that we go into something together, even if it fails, the two of us have failed. Not that, you failed to do this, you're the one who brought this idea and it didn't work out. No. We move into it together. Once it works, it's for both of us. We are happy. We are both happy. If it fails, it is our resources which have failed. Not that, it is your money which you had put in. For me, I still have my money. We are in it. We are into everything together.
I think it's also important to be transparent. When you do things together, you are transparent to each other. Because if you don't do things together, the other party is thinking maybe you are wasting the money, or there are other cost centers outside your marriage that you're attending to. But also continuity. When you do things together, even when one of you is not around, the other is able to pick up and move things.
Yeah.
As opposed to everything comes to a standstill when the other is not around. So that's important. But also, concerted efforts.
Yeah.
Imagine both of you decide to buy land or build houses, and you are not able to finish either side. This one has raised a structure, this one has also raised a structure, and none of those independent structures is able to reach completion. So it's important to have joint efforts. And remember, God joined you as one. So whatever you are doing should be for both of you as a family. Yeah. So power of oneness can never be underestimated.
Wow. So let's talk about the physical and mental bit of it. What do you mean? Do we talk about the domestic violence?
Okay, physical. I will talk about the physical bit. You maybe handle the mental bit. No, those two really matter. Physical is we'll take it into, when you talk about physical exercises in our primary, that was PE. Yes, it's easier done when you're together. He usually wakes us up. We go together with the children. Morning exercises.
Every day?
Every day.
How do you feel when you're waking up?
Anyway.
Because exercise has never. I can commit to eat like 1 week, and then another week I'm like,
Don't worry, the doctors will force you to eat sometime.
He wakes us up. He's the head of the home. He wakes us up for exercises, run around the house, jump, do what. Just imagine you're out of bed and you're going to do that.
You're making me seem like a mchaka.
Anyway, but it's part of bonding. You ask a child, I've told you about the 3 children. Ask any of them, today you're the one leading us, and they feel so good.
In the physical bit of it?
Yes, in the physical bit. Today I'm the one telling you, let's raise our hands, let's box around, let's do this. And the next time it is my turn, let's do this. It's all part of bonding in this busy schedule. Yes.
And then when it comes to mental health, Brenda, I don't know whether you have seen people struggling mentally.
Yeah.
You can be there, you have this challenge, you don't know who to talk to. And sometimes, people have been hospitalized.
Yeah.
Because
Depression.
of that. Yeah. Because they don't have anybody to share this challenge with.
Yeah.
So it's important to be there to be able to listen to each other, share the challenges, and lend a shoulder for someone to lean on, even if you don't do anything, but just hearing them out. That's very important, especially for the ladies.
Words of affirmation?
We have many words, which we need to air out each day. So if I have my spouse here who is able to give me time to listen to anything that I have to say, just know by the end of the day I feel so good that I've aired out everything I wanted to
Only
say.
that is enough.
Yes.
How do you prepare yourself mentally? Mr. Ranga, there are some relationships that some people even don't care about the mental health. They are depressed in their marriage, and even sometimes they can talk even to their parents, and their parents will not give them that shoulder to lean on or to give them those affirmations and those supportive words. They'll be like, kaza kuma. So people you feel like you're dying into the relationship. They cannot talk to anyone. Like the example of this was of this Nigerian artist who died. She didn't have anyone to talk to. Even she didn't have, even the sisters were not there to be talked to. Even the pastors, she could not go to the pastors, because the last time that she did, she talked to the parents, and the parents would be like, they did not give him even any listening ear. They would be like, you went into this, and if you do this, what will people say? How will they look at you? All of a sudden she passed on, because no one was there to listen to her. So there are a lot of people who are dying into the relationship. They have no one to talk to. They are really depressed, and even sometimes you're told a word, because how I perceive that word is different from how Joanne is going to perceive that word. There are people who are told one word, and it stays with them for a longer time.
Yeah, you see, there's a saying that a problem shared is half solved. This is important. There are no ninja things in these things.
Ninja.
There's no Spider-Man, no ninja type in these things. You will explode. You just see somebody break down, explode, sometimes even die. So that's why it's important to share. And when you're in a marriage, of course the best person to share is your best friend. Even when sometimes they're part of the problem.
The best friend?
Yes, they can be part of the problem, or they can be the problem.
How?
Very easy. These are relations. You clash, you annoy each other, and they are the cause of your anger. They are the cause of the blame. You have seen people blaming each other. But for us, we purpose to resolve everything before the sun sets. or at least before we go to bed. Ensure that any issue is sorted. Listen, in marriage there will be hard talk. Hard talk. Have you ever felt some kind of anger or some dissatisfaction, and you want to share it with the person who is causing this, and you're reluctant to, you don't know how they will feel? That is a hard talk I'm talking about. So don't keep quiet, because when you don't talk, again you will explode. It will show, eventually it will show in one way or another in the subsequent actions that you're doing, to show that there's something which is unresolved, unfinished business. So you purpose to resolve them. But also it's not about, you see, you must skip the person you're talking to. In this case, your spouse. It's not about them, but it's about us. Even if they are the ones causing the problem, but you have to own it, because you're now one.
Yeah. And
so purpose to resolve that. So it's not that you did A, B, C, D. Yes. And you're going to land us into this problem. No. You say, my wife, my husband, there's a challenge here, we need to resolve. Otherwise we will end up in that kind of tunnel which we don't want to. The approach is different, because you're now one. And so that's why you need to talk to each other to see how to resolve this before it escalates to another level.
Yeah, John, Mr. Rango talked about the burning fire in marriage. How do you feel like the burning fire is out in your marriage? Like it's completely out?
Like the food has no spice. It's not tasty. It's not. Wow. How do you feel?
When the charcoal, maybe when like there's nothing that is happening, the burning fire is not there.
I'm going to pass it on to him.
Of course, there's that sense of emptiness. You're just there, like some people say these days, just there. Usually the women may say, I'm just existing in this marriage for the sake of the children. Had it not been the children,
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, so there's a sense of emptiness, a sense of loneliness, a sense of feeling that you're not wanted or loved, and it's personal. You have that yearning, you have that gap. Yeah, when the spark is lost, there's nothing exciting. You know, humanity is based on an excitement kind of trend. That's why you see people go to new places, because they want something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Now, if the spouse is coming only with problems, excuses, nothing exciting, they will never bring you a gift or anything. Your special day passes unnoticed. They feel a toll on them. So that's the sense of feeling when the spark is out.
Maybe Joanne, you can give us some bit of challenges. You know, your spouse expect you to be this, and things are really not working out. They expect you to be working. They expect you at work very early, and then like there is also this busy schedule, and then you have to be there for family. Like what are those challenges in spicing up marriage amidst this busy schedule?
We started by he's an engineer and manager. Sometimes work can get so overwhelming that you're forced to carry some of the work at home.
Then you have to bring it at home.
Yet, because it could have deadlines, and find the hours you have at work are not enough, so you have to put in extra effort to carry this work at home, so as to be able to beat that deadline. And coming home, I'm talking about this as a lady as well. You come home and you also have work to be done at home. You also have a spouse to entertain, to catch up with. But personally, what I usually do, one, I inform him in advance about, you know what, there's something I am handling which needs extra time to this. And him as my spouse, and I always thank him, sometimes he comes in to help me where he can, so that we can work and have this done on time. Yes, it is dwindling on our time that we would have together. Let's say the couple time we'll just spend there and just sit together on the bed, just talking, talk about this, talk about anything. But now you're into work instead. Having informed him much earlier definitely comes into to help. So that keeps also us together. So that one spouse doesn't really feel shut down and maybe say, my husband is always busy, my wife is always busy, they never have time for me. Pull this together and work together, because this marriage journey we are in is for working. Each time you have to work on it. Just like you open up a business and you have to keep thinking, how do I make this business grow? If it's a child, how do I nurture this child into a godly and a good person? It's for working on, like the marriage.
Mr. Lwanga, stats say that 5% of fathers are usually available in the life of their family, or in the life of their parents, or in the life of their spouses. So how do you be intentional, even for a husband or for a man or for a gentleman who is watching us there, who is watching us? How do you be intentional to look out for your family, to be available at any given time, to work towards creating time amidst that schedule, or that busy schedule?
Well, Brenda will tell you that I have gone through a process of reform. I try. I'm not perfect at this. I'll be very honest with you. And that's typically what happens in marriage. Like she said, when you open up in your marriage, you're entering this room called marriage, and it's empty. And so you have your own perspective of what marriage is. And your spouse also has the same. Now, number one, you have to be intentional. But it's a process leading to that. You see, the challenge in marriage is that we dive in without experience, and we are not supposed to have experience anyway. And so the men, let me talk about the men, because you mentioned the men. Yeah, we get married as men, but we have not been mentored into how to love the woman, how to stay with the woman, how to keep her. This is where the challenge is. Now, like I highlighted to you, there will be differences. A woman is different from a man, even the wiring, even the speaking. Women tend to have much more words than the men. And so you find some men complaining, she talks too much. You find some men want to give direction instead of listening. So you purpose too. It's a slow process which you get intentional at and purpose to work at improving on a daily. And say, this is how I will live my life. It's about the legacy you want, really. There are colleagues who move out very early in the morning, return when the children are sleeping. But what legacy is this you're leaving? your children.
They are
and
working
your
for
wife.
me.
And so you should know that you have stakeholders out there, and their living relies on you. They need you. Young children are there, they need to be mentored. You have a beautiful woman like this one, she needs to be loved. Hallelujah.
Amen.
So I think that's bottom line. That's you have to be purpose. You have to purpose to do it. Yeah. There's no shortcut.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Ranga. You can give us your parting shots on this. You can give us your parting shots. I think we're remaining with only 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Like I've said, or like we have been sharing, we have to purpose to be intentional in our marriage. It's a lifetime commitment till death do us part. So purpose and say, this is what I want. This is God, please lead us in this marriage. Give us the wisdom, give us the knowledge, help us, give us the finances, help us to move this marriage journey up to the end. Yeah.
So the other that we want to conclude with is, you can't spice without giving.
Yeah.
Work on your giving first and not necessarily receiving. Like we see in Luke 6:38, it says that give and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over. And so when you give, it will be given unto you. Spicing will work best for us in our marriages if we both purpose to work at it and to make it better. But we are making it better not for ourselves, but for your spouse.
Yeah.
You spice, she spices, I spice, and at the end of it all, we have a very well cooked dinner. 5-star hotel stay. Thank you very much.
I hope you've heard it for yourself. Yes, that was Family Talk Show. And in case you have missed all these episodes of Church of Uganda Family TV, Family Talk Show, basically Family Talk Show, in case you've missed the episodes that we've had, because we have this show every Friday. So in case you've missed any episode, just go back and on your YouTube channel and just type in COU Family TV, COU Family TV, and you will access our YouTube channel and you will watch every program. There is Ensonga, there is Ensonga, there is Word of Life, there is Issues at Hand. There is a lot of programs that you're going to find on Church of Uganda, and trust me, we enrich your life. And you can also follow us on our social media platform, that is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We are also there, LinkedIn. Just type in COU Family TV and you will access all those social media platforms. Or in case you also want to work with your phone, because you cannot work with your TV set at home, you can just download our Family TV app and you have it on your phone and you will watch every program live on our Family TV app. Just go on your Play Store, type in Family TV app and you will access it. Thank you so much. Please be purposeful and be intentional and give, and it shall be given unto you. That is spicing up your marriage. In case you want to spice up your marriage, just do all those things. Thank you so much. DJ Batam has been in the control room and Mahooro has been on camera. I love you so much. Everyone that has been watching, Brenda Mahooro is my name.